What's good, crypto? I'm your host, Marvin, here to bring you a daily scoop on what's going on in crypto. This weekend, we saw Bitcoin smash over $50,000, closing in at its highest that we've had in weeks since May, closing over 50,000 for the first time and actually getting up to 52,000 this morning, seeing a swift rejection at 52,000, but that we can see Bitcoin is holding 51,000 as support, so there's a lot to go in, but is now a good time? We're going to discuss this and so much more on today's episode and actually bring on some on-chain analytics and things to consider if you haven't bought into Bitcoin or if you're thinking about developing your position, some things to consider. Also, I want to talk about one of my favorite projects, Vechain, and talk about my price prediction for this coin. So much to talk about, and this is going to be such a fun episode. And remember, Monday through Friday, we come here to educate ourselves when it comes to investing in crypto to make life-changing wealth. None of this is financial advice, just my opinion, so make sure to do your own research and to do your own due diligence, as I'm not a financial advisor. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Media by Marvin. I love to chat with you guys and just connect about crypto and all things related or not related. But let's talk about Bitcoin and let's take a look at the current market. And while we're sitting at 2.34 trillion, we're not too far from the market's all-time high, I believe, of 2.5 trillion. And we can see Bitcoin getting closer to that beautiful $1 trillion market cap. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 51,690, and we can see that there's some good movement in the market. Ethereum hanging out over $3,900, inching closer and closer to the $4,000 mark. Cardano hanging out at 287. There's some FUD spread around this weekend regarding it failing its testnet. I would not fall for the manipulation or any sort of FUD. I bought more Cardano just because I was like, this is a great opportunity. People don't understand that the whole point of a testnet is to pass or fail. Like, you want to make sure everything's working, but it's just one project that didn't work out well, and that's okay. There are so many other good projects coming along. It's not going to stop Cardano from smart contracts coming very soon. So keep that in mind if you are a Cardano holder. Do your own due diligence, do your research, but I'm just not buying it. I think Cardano is too good of a project. Binance Coin struggling to hang out at $500. Personally, I sold some of my Binance Coin to buy more Vechain, and I'll talk about that. But I think I still hold Binance Coin. I think it's a great project. I think there's room for this to grow, maybe up to $1,000, $1,200. But I just see a lot more upside in Vechain, and I also believe in Vechain. I've done a lot of research in the project, and it's one of my favorite projects. It's one of my larger holdings. But I just figured, you know what? I'm just gonna move some profits around. Since I was already in profit with Binance Coin, take some coins out of there and just switch them over to Vechain. I think just for what my portfolio is and what I personally think of Vechain, it just made sense for me to move some profits around personally. XRP moving really, really well at $1.36. Solana at $143, not too far from its all-time high, I believe at about $150. So we see Vechain, Solana, with some strength there. Dogecoin just hanging out. It's funny, a lot of meme coins haven't been really moving well in the start of this bull cycle or bull market or phase 2, whatever you want to call it. Dogecoin up about 1%. It's up 36% in the last month, but a weird skip and pause in audio. My computer does this thing where it stops recording for no reason. But anyways, we were looking at Chainlink. It was crushing it. It's still crushing it at $36. Insane. It was about $33, $34 this weekend. So good to see Chainlink up 16%, 24 hours, up almost 50% on the week. So amazing to see that. Overall, projects are just doing well. Polygon decided to move. It was up at $1.70 just the other day. So finally moving. All the projects that people have been sleeping on are starting to move. Vechain moving up beautifully, up almost 30% on the week. This project is one of my favorite. It's a supply chain token. It's so good, and I think it's so undervalued at just under $10 billion. This is one project that I have a lot of faith in. But let's just dive in to see what Bitcoin is doing, and we're gonna move forward and see what's going on. So if we dive into the charts really quick, just give you my general impression of what's going on. So we see this fantastic daily close yesterday at, let's take a look, 51,756. The first time Bitcoin has successfully closed over 50,000 and it's at 51,000. That's extremely bullish. What I think is going to happen next, we could either see there's a lot of on-chain analytics showing that there's not a lot of space, or there's not a lot of resistance between here and about $57,000. It might be a straight shot. So we may see Bitcoin continue this rally and just do a mega move up to about $57,000. I think we're going to continue to kind of staircase over the next couple of days, as we've seen like a couple of good days in green, probably some pullbacks along the way, but there won't be a lot of resistance. We're going to move, I think, and what a lot of other traders are saying, the amount of time that we spent in the 40s compared to the time we will spend in the 50s is going to be so fast. We're going to move through 50,000 pretty quickly. So I personally think we're going to see resistance, and I've mentioned this in videos before, closer to around this $57,000 mark. We can see there's a lot of price action going on over here, a lot of buying, a lot of selling, definitely an area of contention. So I think we're going to see some back and forth action there. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to move up, probably get to 55, 56, start to hit some resistance, get some rejections, retrace, and kind of follow this pattern that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, where we have these awesome moves up, we trade sideways for a little bit, we let altcoins breathe and kind of get their run up, and then we continue to move forward. So I think what we're going to see next is some movement upwards, probably stall out at 56, 57, trade sideways, maybe get rejected, retest support around 54, 55, and continue to move upwards. But I think the trajectory that we're on right now is really healthy. I think everything is looking really good. And honestly, just taking a look at the dailies, we're looking very healthy. And if you look at the hourly, we have this Bart Simpson kind of like head going on right now. But as we can take a look here, just kind of zooming in, and I guess, you know, don't get sucked up onto like the shorter time frames, in my opinion. I always like to kind of take a step back, but you can see that we had this beautiful run up, and we actually waked up to $52,000 this morning. This was at 11? No. Oh, this was last night. I'm sorry, guys. I can't actually read I can't read. It was this morning. We see that Bitcoin rose all the way up to 52,000, got rejected, and then the bears tried to push it down as hard as they could, getting down to about 51,000, the lows, but they were unable to close. So we can see this beautiful bullish action pushing it back up. You know, buyers are stepping in. So I think, again, we're going to hit resistance around 56, 57. But, you know, if you guys were able to buy these last couple of days, good for you. And if we look at the weekly, beautiful weekly close. Beautiful weekly close. We haven't closed over the $50,000 mark in forever. So I think, again, we're shaping up to see a very good run. We can see that the next level is probably going to be 56, 57. We can see that on the weekly, so that kind of coincides to what I said regarding, you know, on the daily, like we're probably going to see 56, 57, but you can see there was a lot of price action over here, especially 57,000 and 58, or 57 to 58, because, you know, we have the closes there, and closes on the candle are stronger than wicks on a candle. So that's something to keep in mind. And now I just want to quickly touch upon this before we continue to dive into Vechain and the rest of my video. Is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? I'm getting a lot of people asking me that. And my opinion is, you know, you should have bought, of course, back when Bitcoin was down here at $30,000. Like, where were you when Bitcoin was 34, 35, 37, 39, 40, 41, or 29? Like, there's just there's 12 weeks of accumulation. If you did not accumulate at any point during that time, I really don't feel bad for you. Like, there's so many other crypto people and just traders, so many people everywhere on the internet just yelling on top of rooftops and on social media, like, buy the dip, this is a good time to buy. And people were calling for 10K Bitcoin, 15K Bitcoin, but that never happened. So is now a good time to buy? It's not as good as it would have been to buy, you know, a month and a half ago, or even last week or 3 weeks ago, of course. You know, in my previous videos, I was saying, like, hey, we're at 48,000. You know, people are saying 42, 43,000 for a dip. prepare and put some orders out there, but it may not happen. So make sure to buy the dip once it gets to 46,000, because who knows if 42 and 43 is going to happen. And guess what? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So when you see opportunities, take those opportunities to accumulate. But if you're going to buy now, just understand that, Bitcoin may go to 100,000, 120, and there are people calling for 180. So you might 2 or 3x your profit. And if you plan on holding Bitcoin for a while, then yeah, of course, 50,000 is way more cheaper than buying it at $100 or $120,000 a coin. So if you're gonna buy now, just keep in mind, have realistic expectations. Don't expect Bitcoin to go from 50 to 500,000 this bull cycle. That's unrealistic. You probably won't get a 10x in returns if you're looking for that. But if you're looking to develop a position, probably make a decent size now and just dollar cost average. I think that's the biggest thing, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. Dollar cost average. Think of this as another savings account. Think about this as a long-term hodl. If you bought in at 29,000 or 30,000 this cycle, especially this summer, people are probably going to be looking at 4 to 6x gains, which is huge. So if you're buying now, you're probably looking at 3 to 2x gains, maybe 2.5x, depending on how everything works out. So have a plan, know when to take profits, sit down, really do your research, and consider, hey, I want to take out X amount of profits at this point, because by the end of the cycle, and when we do enter a bear phase or a bear market, which could be about a year or 8 months, some people are saying that next time could be a little bit shorter since there's so much more institutional buy-in, take some profits and be ready to re-enter again, because you want to rinse, wash, and repeat. It's a whole cycle. So go in with a plan, know when you want to take profits out, because taking profits is important. Some people think that if you're taking profits, it's against the community, but that's not the case. Nobody in the community is really going to be looking out for you, first off. And second, you need to look out for yourself. That's how you accumulate more coins. The whole point is to accumulate more coins. You don't want to have it all sit in dollars and fiat and not make any money whatsoever. You want to flip your coins for more coins. Like, that's what I'm planning on doing. Like, I want to accumulate more Bitcoin. So what I'm going to do is sell more Bitcoin along the way and then buy more Bitcoin when it comes down, because there will be a cycle. I think that, Bitcoin may never see $30,000 again, but the floor for the next one, like as we saw in this mini correction, that the bottom was like 29,000. But if we bring Bitcoin up to 100 or 150 or 180, as some people are calling for, the base next time might actually be this all-time high of $60,000. So that might be the next low. But we'll see what happens when we get there. A lot can change and a lot can happen. But if you're planning to hold for years, just update your time frame, have a longer time frame in mind, and just be patient. Don't expect huge gains, don't expect Dogecoin gains like overnight and things like that. Be patient with the investment, know what you're doing and know what you're buying. That is my advice regarding whether or not now is a good time to buy. I think now is a good time to buy rather than buying in October or November, in my opinion. So if you think about it that way, buying now is a better time than October and November. A better time to have bought was, July. But if you didn't, oh well. You probably missed that train. But you can still hop on this train. So, hey, the train is still there. It's going, but, the distance you'll go won't be as far, in my opinion. Now, I want to talk about Vechain. I love Vechain. I've been buying Vechain like crazy forever now. I bought at 20 cents, 23 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents, all the way up. I even bought more this weekend. But Vechain is one of my favorite projects. It's a supply chain token. If you want to learn more about what Vechain is a blockchain powered supply chain platform. Began in 2015, so it's one of the older projects. It aims to distribute governance of the Internet of Things technology to create an ecosystem which solves some of the major problems. It has two tokens, Vechain and VThor. VThor is what's used to power Vechain. You kind of use it to buy stuff on the Vechain platform. But what I love about Vechain, it has amazing partnerships with like BMW. It has partnerships with like H&M, Walmart out in China, which is really a big deal. Vechain has yet to be listed on Coinbase and other larger platforms, but Vechain has so much potential. It's such a good technology. I think Vechain, my price prediction, especially with the way things are going, they have an NFT marketplace too, which of course, if you're in the space of things, my hair is a mess. NFTs are hot right now, hot. And I think that's why we kind of see like this really good run up going on with Vechain. And I think it has a lot of room to grow. The market cap of it is just sitting under $10 billion. It's at 9.8 billion. And I honestly think that a lot of people are saying that Vechain can 10x from here, bringing it to a market cap of $100 billion. That I think is a bit excessive. I personally think that Vechain by the end of this bull cycle could probably 5 or 6x. That would bring Vechain from here to about 75 to 90 cents a coin. I think Vechain is incredibly undervalued. I think it's a great project. I think what they're doing in NFTs and how they are partnering with, real companies and organizations around the world. They have a full technology. They're doing a lot of great things in terms of like tracking like vaccines and pet distribution, like just goods, all that good stuff. They're just doing a lot in the market, and they're actively like building and improving on their platform. And if we take a look at their just charts, like they have this double bottom down here, and they're moving in a really good direction, and they're not too far from their all-time highs of 28 cents. They're about 13 cents away, but they're moving a really good direction, and they're just moving in a very good way. I think we could see Vechain going up to 70 to 85 cents this market cycle. Some people are calling for $1.50, and if that's the case, I'll be very happy. But I do think that a 70 to 80 cent Vechain is possible. Again, that would bring the market cap up about to like 40 to 50 billion dollars, and if that's the case, that would put it up right around where Solana is right now. So you could see some major gains, and Solana is continuing to run up right now. It's not that far from its all-time high. It's not too far from XRP, but I do think that a $50 billion Vechain market cap is reasonable. I think the technology is there, and it's such a good project. So I wouldn't be surprised if Vechain is the next one to run up. And a lot of people are looking for small altcoins to like make money, lots and lots of money. But there's so many good projects, even in the top 30. Like if you look at the top 30, like invest in Bitcoin, good. Ethereum, good. Like there's just, if you look at the last 7 days, a lot of these have been moving in such a good direction. We're seeing 20% gains, 30% gains, a lot of things moving in such good ways, 45% gains, with Solana, almost 300% gains. Like you don't have to dig for these micro market cap gems that, when Bitcoin goes down, they take a beating. So, consider and look at your portfolio and, buy into the bigger coins because they're safer. They're going to be less impacted than the micro cap coins when Bitcoin goes down, especially when we go into the bear market next. So that's my thoughts on Vechain and just the overall market. Just, we see some really good movers. Had you bought, Chainlink, like, look, think about it this way. If you bought Chainlink back in July, like, I remember this day, it was like $13. Yeah. It was $13. It's almost at $36. It's almost 300% X there. There's so much money to be made. Just keep an eye out, look for the good deals and all that good stuff. And just the last couple of things before I end today's stream and podcast. Looking at like the fear and greed index for the first time, we're in extreme greed at 79. If we take a look at the last year, we see these clumps up here of extreme fear, extreme greed. We're up here from November, basically all the way, to the end of January. Then we had a small dip, correction, and then we continued to go up. And you can see from March to May, when Bitcoin got into the 60,000s, we're in the 70s. We weren't anywhere near, this level of 90s. And then, of course, the summer correction, where we were in the 12s, 10s, 15s, all the way up until I think our highest was like 33. And now we're in greed territory, extreme greed, and before a major run-up, we start to see extreme greed. So I think we're in for a treat. Some on-chain analytics I want to bring up before the end of this episode. Exchange balances are now the lowest they've been, minus 32,000 in the last week, minus 46,000 in the last 2 weeks, and minus 138,000 Bitcoin in the last 5 weeks, totaling about $7 billion leaving the exchanges. That's insane. You can see as the price increases, the amount of Bitcoin starts to decrease from the exchanges. People are accumulating, people are hodling, and we can see a supply shock and a liquid supply shock causing a major pumpage in the price. And lastly, tomorrow, the first nation will adopt Bitcoin as legal tendency. El Salvador taking Bitcoin. This is going to be awesome. A lot of people are buying $30 worth of Bitcoin to kind of celebrate this huge momentous moment. Having a country adopt Bitcoin as legal currency is huge bullish news. Things that we've never seen before. So I'm super stoked. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen the rest of this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and share the podcast, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, everyone.